All right. Hello, you guys. Sorry for a little bit of the delay today. Today, we're talking about help. I don't trust my doctor. And the reason why we're talking about this today is because I felt compelled to talk about the recent controversy that were, about some comments that a healthcare provider made regarding Black patients. And if you feel like, you know what, this is, I can tune out because it's just for Black people. No, the reason why this affects all of us is because it was a healthcare provider who made this statement. So if they made this statement about them, then other people can be making statements about anybody. And it's just kind of like, what do I do in this situation? But in particular, this was very upsetting for a lot of Black people because we already have an issue with the healthcare system. And this started to kind of compound a lot of that because what I understand as a physician that we are supposed to build that trust. And once we break that trust, there could be a lot of things that we are going to have to do to try to rebuild it and repair it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And it is a safe space, I promise you. So if you are watching live, go ahead and let me know where you're watching from and all that kind of stuff. And bring a friend and all of that because we are going to talk about it today, but it is going to be a safe space, a respectful space so that we can understand exactly what was said. We can understand kind of what how that impacted all of us and then what can we do about it because you guys know I'm always about what can we do? What can we do to help solve this situation and to be better? So, if this is your first time watching and joining, welcome. I'm Dr. Ashley Booth. I'm a board certified family medicine physician, and I provide practical health tips and tools that you can use in your everyday life. Because what I understand is that your life affects your health. Like I said, if you haven't already done so, bring a friend, share. This is always interactive, so you can comment um, and make sure that you following stuff along as well so that you have subscribed so that way you don't miss out on any additional content that we put out. But let's just go ahead and get into it because the holiday season was put into a tizzy. My thing was, I'm just going to relax and enjoy myself. And then this all hit before the end of the year. It's like we still didn't get out unscathed, right? Because this old clip surfaced of a physician having the webinar because this was in 2020. So, we were doing a lot of virtual things back then. But this physician was talking to another healthcare provider, and they said that Black women were crying wolf and can be dramatic when they are especially during pregnancy. So these were the patients that they take care of. And the reason why this was so alarming, so upsetting to a lot of people is because this doctor that said it was a Black female OBGYN. So just let that sit, right? So this doctor takes care of Black women, was saying that Black women tend to cry wolf and are dramatic. Well, this was very upsetting to a lot of people. A lot of people came out like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that this person said such a thing. This is egregious, all of these different things, right? And one of the reasons why I understand why this is upsetting and rightfully so is because Black women are 3 times more likely to die in childbirth. Let's just think of giving birth. They are 3 times more likely. When people say, well, it's probably because of their health. Nope, let's take that out of the picture. That has nothing to do with it. Because when they put all the people together and they said, we're going to take health out of it, we're going to take your education level out of it, we're going to even take your income out of it. So we're going to put everybody together. Everything is the same. The only difference is your race. Black women are still 3 times more likely. That tells me we have a problem and we have a systemic problem. That tells me that when you go in and say that certain things are happening, somebody is not listening, right? And some people will then say, well, you're a doctor. You don't really have to worry about this. Wrong. Because I personally know professional women who are in healthcare, who are still nervous about having children because they say, are they going to listen to me? Are they going to do the things? Are they going to take care of me? Right? Your money cannot save you. Someone mentioned to me and they say, Serena Williams. Serena Williams has all the money, but when she had that first baby, people did not listen to her and she almost died because of the blood clots that she had. And she had to fight and advocate to say, listen to me, something is not right. I need you guys to dig a little deeper, do something else. Her story is not, it makes the news because she's a huge celebrity and all of that, but it's not uncommon. This is a problem that is affecting Black women left and right. And one of the reasons why it took me a while to come out and say something was because I became very overwhelmed with all of the different stories, all of the Black women who were coming out talking about their childbirth and their labor stories and how certain people have died, all of those different things because someone did not listen. A lot of times it boiled down to someone didn't act fast enough. They did not listen. So that's why a lot of people were understandably upset, right? The other issue is there are these different myths that are going on in the community, healthcare community. There's these myths that Black people have a higher pain tolerance and that Black people have a thicker skin. That is not true. That's why I say it is a myth. However, this has continued to play itself out into our healthcare space. They did a study not too long ago, within the last 10 years, where they polled medical students. And that was one of the questions. Do you think that Black people have a higher pain tolerance? Do you think they have thicker skin? And they said yes. We do not. But unfortunately, people think this, so then they practice medicine accordingly. And again, the numbers say it. And like I like to say, the math ain't mathing. I don't do a lot of math, but the math ain't mathing when you have three times the rate of death than other people. The math ain't mathing when you have two people come in with the same exact thing. And the only difference between them is their race, and they don't get the medication that they need because they say, I am in pain. And this person says, you don't look like you're in pain to me, right? So these are the issues. And the other thing that I understand is that Black people, we understandably so, have an issue with trusting our healthcare system. People say, well, I don't understand. Like that happened so long ago. Tuskegee wasn't that long ago. And that's one of the ones that if you ask a lot of Black people why they don't trust certain things, that is one of the big ones that they will talk about and they will say Tuskegee, right? People may not know all the details of it, but you have heard from someone who's heard from someone who told you, and that's one of the reasons why you don't go. That's not the only thing that has happened. There are multiple cases and stories that are on the books that talk about how we as a people, Black people, have been mistreated through the medical system, right? It's been documented and things that we didn't sign up for. We didn't ask for certain things. These things were done against our consent because, well, we could just practice on them, right? So because of all of these different layers, then for me as a physician, I'm like, I I'm upset. And I understand why you are upset because I know how much trust it takes to be able to make that relationship and that connection with someone. I know how much time it takes. I consider it a sacred trust. Anytime I enter into that partnership with a patient and they trust me, I take that seriously. I'm not like, oh, it's no big deal. No, because I know that it took a lot for you to one, walk into my office. And it doesn't matter who you are, Black, white, doesn't matter your religion, doesn't matter your sex, doesn't matter any of those things. For you as a person to say, I need someone to help me with this. I know that as a physician, a lot of times these things can be intimate. You say, high blood pressure is not intimate. Yes, it is if you don't think you should take medicine for it. That's a huge mindset shift to say, okay, I'm going to trust you to walk me through this, to help me get this down, to help me get this under control. So I know that I do a lot of work to try to form those relationships. I am super protective of my people, and my people is my community, my patients, my family. So when I'm super protective of them, I make sure that I'm giving them the best of what I have. So then when you have someone who kind of says this comment, it throws a lot of things off. And it's like, how do we rebuild this trust? Like, how do we get back to where we need to be? But one of the things that I do know is that there are a lot of doctors, a lot of healthcare providers who are out there and they are going the extra mile for you, right? They truly are trying to go the extra mile. Those are the people I associate with. Now, yes, it's just like in every other profession. You have some people who are bad apples. Not saying that this person who made the comment was a bad apple, but I'm just saying you have some people who are out there who are doing things that they should not do. It is what it is. But the people that I associate with and the people that I know, I've seen some people go really hard for their patients to advocate for them to make sure that they are doing what they need to do so this patient can get what they need. Like the stories of people and the things that they have done, you guys would not believe the things that people do. So I'm telling you that there are people out there who are rooting for you. The trust, yes, has been broken. It's been broken, but we can put the pieces back together. And how do we do that? One of the things that I absolutely know, and I know for sure, and studies are saying it, and the math is mathing on this one, is that Black patients do better with doctors that look like them. Now, am I saying that Black people should only see Black patients? No, because I see everybody. I take care of whoever walks in my door. If you say I need help, I'm going to take care of you, right? So that's what I do. But the studies have shown, at first they said, well, if you see a Black provider, especially a Black primary care doctor like myself, if you see us, then what happens is you are more likely to relate, you are more likely to listen, you are more likely to trust, and you are more likely to follow the treatment plan. But that's all that they could do. But then this year, or last year rather, they said, now we can put this information together and we have proof that shows that you now live longer and your mortality rate to all these other things start to go down, right? Because you have that trust. So it works. The math is mathing on that. Again, am I saying that you should only look for a Black doctor? No. What I'm saying is you have to find your person, whoever that person is, whatever they look like. I have a ton of people who tell me that they have made connections with other people because of whatever it is. If it's a hobby, if you just feel like they see you, they hear you, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you find your person. But I know that a lot of us were really upset because it's like, oh my gosh, this was a Black doctor, a Black female doctor who said this about Black female patients. Who can we trust? I'm letting you know that you can still, if that is what you're looking for and you want a Black doctor, you want a female doctor, whatever it is that you feel like is going to help make you that connection, you can still do that because the math is still math and it says that it's most likely is going to work in your favor. You just have to find that person. You have to build that trust because you want to find somebody who is going to listen to you and who understands you and takes your concerns seriously. You know if somebody is dismissive of what you have to say. Like for instance, for me, when I was pregnant with my child, especially my first one, I started having some pains and I dismissed it myself because I'm in healthcare. So, oh, I know what this is. Pain got worse. And I was like, I don't think this is what this is. I need to see someone. And I called them. They said, okay, we hear you. This sounds serious. We need you to come in. Come on in so we can evaluate and see what's going on. And then from there, they started to escalate the process and put the things in place to make sure that I was safe. So that's what you need. You need somebody who's going to say, okay, I hear you. That sounds serious. I need you to come in. This is what we need to do. This is our plan. If they are dismissive, then we have other things to do. You guys know I am not against finding a second person, getting a second opinion. I don't care who the person is. I don't care. Even myself, if I have something that's going on and a patient's like, I don't know, it's like, listen, you can get a second opinion. I will not be offended because I want you to be comfortable with what's going on and I want you to make sure that you understand what is going on. We all went to medical school. We all have the same baseline of education, but we all have different interests. So people may say, oh, well, this actually sounds like blah, 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 and may decide to do. That's why we collaborate a lot. Although I'm family medicine trained, I reach out to other family medicine docs from time to time and say, hey, have you seen this before? Or I know that you're really interested in this. Like, how do you approach this and how do you take care of this situation? That is why, because we all know that we have a mix of information of what we can do. So that's what you have to do. So you have to find your person. You have to advocate for yourself. And I know this other person mentioned that, but huge on advocacy. I had someone reach out to me today and said, "Hey, Dr. Booth, this is what is going on. I feel like I need to advocate for myself. I want to know, can you help me with this?" So not only are you advocating for yourself, but you want to find somebody that you can partner with who can advocate with you or for you. And that's what I do a lot of times. I'm getting on the phone, "Hey, this is what's going on. Can you help me help my patient?" So you want somebody who's going to be willing to do that, or somebody who says, "Okay, I'm going to send you over here to this other person because I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I think this is it. I sent my note, but when you go, also tell them blah, blah, blah. These are the words that you want to use." Whatever it is, that's how I kind of coach my patients to be able to advocate for themselves. So that's what you want to do. The other thing is you have to follow up. Now, we also have to do our own due diligence. If something didn't get better, go back, see them again. This is still not better. This still is causing me an issue. This is still like, okay. And then if you keep going back and they keep doing the same thing, sound like you need to find somebody else. I'm just being honest with you. Sound like you may have to find someone else, and that is okay. If you're doing the same thing, and it's not getting better, okay, maybe I need to find somebody else who can kind of help me figure this out and get this under control. So that's what you want to do. And you want to keep trying until you find the right person. Because at the end of the day, you only have one body. We are only given one. So we want to make the best of it and do what we can with it. And we want to find the right person who's going to be able to put those pieces together and help us make it make sense, right? You don't want to be out here DIYing and doctoring on yourself. I have a lot of people who do that, and they say, "Oh, well, my aunt has this, so this must be it because these are the same symptoms." Could be, but could be not. And that's the reason why we have experts who are out there who are saying, "Okay, yes, but these are the other things we need to consider. So if this doesn't get better, this is the other thing that we need to do." Yes, have people say, "Well, my aunt had this and she went to so and so, but then her friend told her blah, 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 and they did it and they got better." Yes, sometimes that happens. But what I do know is that if you have an expert on your team, they can also help you get these things together and do it better and faster and more efficient way of getting it taken care of. But again, it's also about finding your person, trusting your person, partnering with your person so that you can get the health care that you truly deserve, because that is what is most important. I said this was going to be a safe space. I appreciate you for watching. I appreciate the comments. You guys are so very welcome for, the information that I put out. I continue to put this out for you guys. So again, continue to share and comment and put all the things out there to let people know that this is what's happening. This is what we're doing. If you are in the Savannah or surrounding area and you are still in need of a healthcare provider, we are still accepting new patients. And we say that by saying, yes, you can get in this month or the next week. Not we're still accepting new patients and you can see us a year from now, because that is also a thing that is happening. And I literally talked to someone yesterday and they said, yes, they're still accepting new patients. And I said, okay. And I have an appointment. And I was like, when is that appointment? And it is next year. So we don't want to have to wait for next year to get the things under control. So if you need to see someone and want to go ahead and see someone sooner rather than later because you want to get those things under control, look us up because we would love to take care of you. If you're not in the area, that is perfectly fine. We still appreciate the support of watching and sharing all the information. But until next time, you guys, I wish you well. I wish you so much healing, and take care.